Welcome back to the 0 to 7 podcast, where each week we talk about our business decisions and strategies to reach our goal of 0 to 7 figures in just 1 year. You're like at a 10 right now, and I need to bring it down to like a 3. All right, so this week I'm going to start off the podcast with a little bit of a rant. I made 40 reels this week. 40 of them. What started this was Facebook is giving money to help pay people to create reels for Facebook because they're trying to start their whole thing separate from Instagram. And it is not going well.
Basically, we can't find reels on Facebook.
No, I made 40 reels, and basically this is what I learned. If you go on your Facebook app right now and you try to find reels on Facebook, you won't be able to. Basically, Facebook's doing a whole bunch of A/B testing or something where everyone's looking at different stuff, and reels is always, to get to reels, it's always in a different place.
Yeah. Dean's is different than mine.
Mine doesn't show up. Even today, I've made 40 reels now. I interact with reels every single day, and it doesn't show up. I don't have any button that I can be like, go to reels.
Yeah.
I can't go. Sometimes it shows up in your feed where it's like, oh, here's some reels. Sometimes it shows up at the very top where you're like, oh, do you want to watch posts, or do you want to look at reels, or do you want to go to watch, or just, it is just a cluster. So that's problem number 1. Problem number 2 is that there's no way to search trending audio. So if you're a creator making reels and you want to use trending audio or things that are popular, there's no way to search it. You can't find it, and you can't have people send it to you. It's just, you can't find reels, you can't find audio for reels, and then there's no traffic.
And that's why they're paying you
to
figure out the details.
And I mean, there's no traffic because there's no single way to get to reels, and they hide it in whatever. They just put it wherever they feel like putting the button that day, and it just keeps changing. So there's no new traffic, there's no new creators because they can't use audio, and the only thing I can do is create audio. But in order to create a reel, you can't even find the button to create the reel unless you scroll through your own page. And then so you don't have any audio to make more content. So it's this like vicious cycle of just, it's a nightmare. Facebook's a nightmare when it comes to reels right now. Instagram, say what you want about Instagram versus TikTok. Instagram at least has everything set up that you can at least do it.
You can get
and it works, and it works well, and you can create quickly, and you can create a lot of content and find a lot of creators for that kind of stuff. But with Facebook, it's a cluster.
So why did we do 40 reels this week, Dean?
We did 40 reels to grow our social media pages, but specifically on Facebook, we were doing it because we have a month to claim whatever credit that Facebook is able to give us.
Yeah, and another good thing about the reels right now on both platforms is they're not as big, and they're not like pay to play right now. So what you can do is you can get a ton of organic reach with the reels. So if you guys aren't doing them, go check out reels. But that is another big thing we're
your average reach on just a regular post, no matter the size of your Facebook page or Instagram page or whatever. We have a fairly large Instagram page comparatively to your average personal page, and you can you can just do a regular post, and you'll get impressions in the 200 or 300 mark, which is, it's not bad. But you can post a reel, and I posted one, I want to say 3 hours ago, and it's got 4,700 views, which for a reel or for a TikTok, that's not necessarily a lot, but that's just your average reel.
Yeah.
Is getting just thousands more of impressions just on one thing. And so anyway, I mean, that's my rant reach. Over. Yeah, we're getting a lot more organic reach. All of our social media pages are really, since we've started doing that, taking off. And we've only been doing that this week. So we've made 40 reels between Monday and now.
Yes.
And that's we've learned a lot just in doing that. And Reels are so much easier than you think. If you're not using them, if you're not using that to your advantage as a business owner, try them out. Or if you have a social media person that works for you, like have them try it out. It is very intimidating when you're just watching them and you're like, I have no idea how to make those. Literally just start watching them and then hit create, and it's much more simple than you think it is. The barrier is pretty much your own head. So rant over. What do you want to talk about? What did you do this week?
We hired some people this week.
Yeah.
We hired, I can't remember if we hired them last week or, but one we hired this week for sure. We hired the other one last week, and then our first full week was this week. And it works out really good because now we have more people. It means Morgan clean more houses. Yeah. So that's all working out really well for us. We hired another cleaner. She's in the Detroit area, so that'll work out good there. They get big market there. So she got all trained up, finished up training today. So she's good on her own tomorrow or next week. And we had a snowstorm. So
yeah, how did your day go today? So basically today, we had a snowstorm come late last night.
Yeah. So
we just at the end of the day.
We normally record these in the morning, and it's 4.
It's 4:54 right now, and I leave at 5. So let's see if we can get this done in time.
Yeah. So this morning, 6:30, I get a text message. I'm stuck in my driveway.
From one of our cleaners.
Yeah.
Yep.
It legit stuck in the driveway. I looked.
It was real stuck.
Well, we have an appointment at 8, and I have an appointment at 9 for cleaning to meet the new girl. And
she has an appointment at 8, and you yourself has an appointment at 9 because
I was making sure the other girl was finished up training because we weren't sure what day she was starting. So I just went out and did it, and then I brought her with me. So it worked out good. So I went over to her house, or over to the one that got stuck, shoveled the driveway, got her car out, got her pushed up the hill. That hill was... The hill's a little rough. Yeah, you needed a push. So, anyway, she got on her way. I went and cleaned the house that I was at, and on my way home to come back to record the podcast for you guys, we're like, wait, she started an hour and a half late. So, and her other cleaning, her first one's taking longer than it normally would have. So, an hour and a half late plus an extra hour or two. Now we're like, well, I'm just going
to stack. Yeah.
Time to go take care of this myself and just go start working on the next one. So make sure we got the client taken care of. What made it worse was all my cleaning supplies went to the new girl, and I had a vacuum. Some paper towel, and a duster. So I went and got all those steps done. And then when Nicole showed up, she got everything else done, and we got it all done in time. So worked out good. So that was how the day started.
The podcast day turned into clean day.
Yeah. And we also had some coaching calls today, which we weren't able to make it to, that we go on and do, but we weren't able to go on to that. So here we are.
Here we are at 4:56. Oh man.
What else we got?
But another thing we did, I got us a bunch of free money.
Ooh, free money. That's always good.
We've got we're in a new space here. This is just below our other office, but we're trying to get some grant money, but we're also trying to get a bunch of marketing money. Yeah, so
grant money, he's not talking about the free money for that one yet. That one's
no,
we don't know if we got that.
We don't know if we got that,
but he did give us some legit free money.
We got a bunch of free money for marketing specifically. So we got our Yelp optimized. We got that all set up. We talked about that last couple weeks. But in a phone call that I had with them, I kind of told them, I was like, hey, listen, we are trying to get from 0 to 1 million in 1 year. Like that's, the whole premise of this podcast, right? Hey, this is our goal. This is what we're trying to do. We're trying to achieve this almost psychotic task. And it just kind of took that, I don't know what you call it, representative. They just kind of started thinking like, oh, wait a second. Okay. It shifted a gear in their mind where they're like, okay, no, we need to be much more aggressive. And so now he's offering us as many tools as possible. So that we got like $1,500 for free from Yelp.
So for the next
couple months. Yeah, we got $1,500 in marketing money. With Google, they did the same thing, not $1,500, but they gave us a couple $100. And then a couple other avenues that we'll talk about later also gave us free money. And so I guess the lesson there is when you have lofty goals that you're trying to achieve, like make sure you're sharing them with the other businesses that you're working with.
Yeah.
A lot of times we like to hold those kind of cards close to our
Yeah.
chest. We don't want to talk about them. We don't really want to put them out there, especially because we're like, oh, what if we fail?
Yeah.
But the more that you talk about those goals, the more that people are going to want to come alongside you and help you get there. And in
we
doing
found that
so,
out. And I'm like, Dean, did you tell him our goal? Did you tell him our goal, Dean?
and then
it's been changed ever since we made sure we tell everyone the
yes,
trying to do. And we learned actually going on a little side note here on our photography business. Sometimes we run into where we don't have anybody available, but we have a project we're trying to complete. So we will call the other companies to see if they can like take the photos for us in our way and send them to us so we can edit them and stuff like that. But we had at one point we were trying not to tell them what we're doing, and I was like, guys, just tell them what we're trying to do. They're just normal people like us. We told them what we're trying to do. Hey, we're overbooked. We need help doing this one. They're like, sure, I can do that, and they give us a discount. You just gotta tell what we're trying to do. So just communicate with them what your goal is, and
B2B sales, yeah,
it works for there. So same thing with ours. We told them the goal, and they're like, oh, we can help with that.
okay, yeah, let's get there.
They want to be part of it.
Yeah, they especially if you can say something like we went from $0 to $1 million in 1 year,
and we use Yelp.
Then they want, and we used Yelp. Yes, they would love to be able to claim that credit, but I mean, it's just important to make sure that you're telling people, because it almost kind of like is speaking it into existence. And so like, okay, now you got to hold your own feet to your fire because you just told all these people that you're going to do this. So that's part of why this podcast is here. Because if we didn't create this podcast, now we have this whole following around us of talking about what our goals are. Now we really need to make sure every single week we are as focused as we can possibly be.
Yeah, you guys are keeping us accountable.
So thank you. Thank you. We heart you for that. Another thing, Thumbtack versus Angie. These are two more advertising companies, kind of like Yelp. It's basically just service industry type things where you can list your business and get leads or customers, or Angie doesn't like it when you call them leads. They don't like that. They call them members.
So first off, we chose these two to look at by just typing in house cleaners.
We just type in
Google.
house cleaners and then see what pops up. And what'll pop up is pretty much Yelp, Angie, Thumbtack.
So we're like, if they're on the top, let's just go talk to them.
I guess we should be on there. So first one I set up an account for was Angie because it showed up higher. Set everything up, got to a point where they wanted to take my credit card information, and I was like, not yet. I'm just going to stop here and see what happens. And then Thumbtack, exact same thing, got to the point where they want to take my credit card information, and then I said, we'll just wait. First thing in the morning, Thumbtack calls me, like 8:05.
Oh, yeah, I think I got a text message from that one at like 8 at night, like 8 or 9 at night.
Right, yes.
When do you want to talk?
Yep. And that's right, because I put your name in it.
Yeah, it was late at night, so it's probably their different time zone for them.
Yep. So I got Thumbtack set up. Basically, there's two main differences between Angie and Thumbtack. Thumbtack, you pay per lead. Like every lead that comes in, then you pay for the opportunity to respond to them. Is basically kind of how that works. Or like a customer is specifically interested in your company, you pay to respond to them. Whereas Angie, interesting enough, makes you sign a 12-month advertising contract that you cannot, like you're stuck in. You can raise how much you're spending with them, but you can't lower it at all. So anytime you raise it, you're stuck at that.
Yeah.
And
so
go ahead.
Their method is a little different than the normal click, get a lead, gotta go from there. Dean went through a couple different steps. He actually tried to go on and be a customer, trying to get data.
That's right.
And it wasn't not the normal. It was not like, it's way too many steps. There was like tons of steps to get to it. Now, we might be doing it wrong. We'll give them the benefit of the doubt on that. But it was way too many steps for an actual person that wanted, like, if it was somebody trying to get cleaning services, that was way too many steps. I would have just went back to Google before I got farther on that. So
So what I did is I put my information in. I said what I wanted, and I was like, I want cleaning. And interestingly enough, when I was talking on the phone with Angie, they said we only do house cleaning, or we only talk about like for homeowners. We don't do any like business stuff. And what happens as soon as I put my information in? It gives me option. Do you want a home cleaned or you want an office cleaned? And I'm like, oh.
We just got off the phone with them.
I asked them so many times. And I was like, you're sure you don't have any office cleaning or anything like commercial wise? They're like, nope, it's all residential. So anyway, I put my information in, and then it gets to a window that says, okay, you have to confirm your information. Okay, what do you mean I have to confirm my information? Oh, you have to call this number. So now I'm going from my web browser, and I have to pick up my phone, and it's not even a link to call. It's just text right there. So I have to look at the text and type it in. I call them, and they're like, Angie's List, how can we help you? I was like, what do you mean? I need to like verify my information. Like what? I don't understand. Okay. Well, okay. Is your name? And then they go through and like put all like confirm all the information again, even though I just put it in. They just want to like, they're confirming it. And I get through the end of it and they're like, okay, well, we'll have our pros reach out to you. I was like, no, that's
like, I need to know.
I want a list. I want to look at it. And so they screenshot me a list from their window, like their browser that the technician's looking at. They just screenshot it and email it to me. And I'm like,
and they're not even ones in the area.
Two of these companies are in the wrong state. So, not only that, right? There's also this contract thing talking about. And so part of our business model is we don't do contracts because we think that's a poor way to run business. If you have to lock people in a contract in order to maintain customers, that's no bueno. Not a good idea. And so I brought that up and the person goes, well, we've been in business for over 30 years and you can't be in business for over 30 years with a business model that doesn't work. Like you were trusted and all this kind of stuff. I was like, I've been getting scam calls for 30 years. Comcast and AT&T have been in business for 30 years and they've got the lowest customer satisfaction in like out of anyone. Like just because you've been around for 30 years is not a good thing.
Yeah. What was the question you asked him? He says, I'm new.
Yeah, it was pretty much that. I was like, it just doesn't make any sense as a business model. Cause I mean, locking into
you're forcing me to want to use you.
I have to. I don't like you.
Or what if you don't like him?
Right. And then he was just like, he didn't really have an answer and he just kind of goes, I'm new. So it's very possible that we don't fully understand Angie List.
We're gonna probably look at it again.
I have a scheduled phone call with them on Monday. I've got like 4 advertisers that I'm calling. And so like I'm giving them another chance, but it does not make sense. There's just too many steps.
Yeah. You don't go from here.
You don't take me from your website.
I don't want to leave the browser.
I don't want to go from my website to my phone and then to my email. Yeah. Like that's not good.
Yeah. Someone will leave that.
I'm not going to pay money to be on a screenshot.
Yeah.
So that's where that is. Thumbtack. Setting up Thumbtack was easy enough. We've both used it in the past. Me for my private business and you for Windows Still.
Yeah.
And
we both got clients. We both got recurring clients. Right?
Yeah, I got a commercial client that they stay with me for like I want to say 3 years.
Yeah,
so it was great.
We know we got the Yelp one figured out, and it's not why we're actually looking at different avenues versus Yelp is we found out. No, we know that Yelp is working. Yelp's doing fine. What's going to happen is not every client's going to go, I'm going to go on Yelp, I'm going to go on Thumbtack, I'm going to go on all these, and we're going to lose a bunch of money because they advertise to the same person. Everyone's going to like their different platform. Like one of you guys might be like, I'm a Thumbtack person, and I'm a Angie List person, and I'm a Yelp person. It's depending on which one you're going to use. So everyone's going to have different clients, but why not be in all of them?
Right, exactly. And because the way Thumbtack is set up, right, so we have to pay money to respond to each lead. It kind of gets into this interesting question where you talk about cost per acquisition, your acquisition cost for services. And basically what that is how much did it cost you to get that customer and how much is it spread out?
I saw a squirrel.
You saw a squirrel. Oh boy. How much does it cost to get that customer and the life of that customer? Like, can you spread it out over how much? Like, how much can you spread that customer out for? So for instance, like our cost per acquisition for a residential clean needs to be much lower because our margins are lower and the likelihood that they're going to cut and run after one cleaning is much higher. Whereas with a commercial client, we have to have more margins because we have to like plan for different eventualities of whether they're going to, either go to a new customer or they just need this for a short time, or they all of a sudden need to change the scope of work on us. And so we have more margins built in, and they're more likely to stay for a long period of time, for years. We're talking to one right now that's like, yeah, we're looking at setting this up for 3 years.
Yep.
And then we just have to decide every 3 years. And so our cost per acquisition can be much higher because we're spreading it out over 36 months.
Yep.
And so 36 months, and they want us to clean every day. So there's just, it can spread much wider. We can stomach a higher cost per acquisition. And so something like Thumbtack, where you're literally paying to respond to a customer, it just makes way more sense when you have more room for your cost per acquisition. Is there anything you want to add to that? Because that's pretty much it. Like that's, I like Thumbtack's business model. It can seem unapproachable for people starting out sometimes, but I've had good experience with it. So I'm gonna keep going. The person that I talked to on the phone was really great, really helpful too. And that just takes us to the number.
So I didn't look at the exact number, but I know we're over 10,000.
Before I sat down, I looked at it. It was $10,061. So
we did pretty good this last week from our highest week yet.
Yep. None of our commercial clients have paid yet.
Yep. They're going to be on a monthly basis.
Yeah. So. It's all going to be monthly, but
we had more cleaners.
We increased our bandwidth. We can do more cleans because we have more people available.
Yep.
It's simple math. And so I think with our next month's hiring goal, I think the more that we increase it, the more that we can take on more residential cleanings. Anytime that we reach a certain point in how far out people are having to schedule, then that's when we know we gotta add someone new.
Yep.
It's pretty simple.
So that's it, guys.
Well, that's all we have time for today. Thanks again for tuning in to week 7 of the 0 to 7 podcast. We just want to thank you so much. If you enjoyed this podcast, please be sure to subscribe on whatever platform you're listening to or watching this on. And if you really like this podcast, please go ahead and leave us a 5-star rating, a like on YouTube, or feel free to comment below with any questions that you have. If you do have questions or want to join our weekly conversations, feel free to join our Facebook group called 0 to 7 Figure Entrepreneurs. So thanks again for coming, and we'll see you next week.